A father, fleeced of more than $200,000 in a shocking case of elder abuse, has called for more financial safeguards. 78-year-old Ray Baird was robbed of his pension and financial independence in a 7-year scheme perpetrated by his own son.
My whole world crashed in. It has completely changed my life. Completely. I don't trust anybody now.
There's a letter sitting in a file somewhere. Fake government letterhead, a forged signature from then Premier Daniel Andrews, and it was written by a son to keep his own father from asking too many questions about where his money had gone. That letter is this story's starting point because it tells you everything you need to know about what kind of operation Peter Baird was running. Not sloppy, not impulsive, not a moment of desperation. Engineered, sustained, and aimed directly at the one man in his life who trusted him completely. Ray Baird was 78 years old when this story came to light. He was a retired cabinet maker, a man who built things with his hands for decades, who did everything right, who saved, who retired, who planned, and who lost more than $200,000 over 7 years, not to a stranger on the internet, not to a phone scammer reading from a script, but to his eldest son, the man he'd asked to help set up his pension. We tell seniors to be careful. We run awareness campaigns. We say, don't answer unknown calls, don't click suspicious links, don't trust people you don't know. Nobody puts up a billboard that says, watch out for your own kids. Here's exactly how Peter did it, how long he got away with it, and what happened when the system Ray turned to for help looked at the evidence, confirmed everything, and walked away.
My whole world crashed in. It has completely changed my life. Completely. I don't trust anybody now.
That line lands differently once you understand the timeline, because Ray didn't lose his trust in strangers. He lost it in the person who was supposed to be his safety net. It started in 2011. Ray was 68, freshly into retirement, pension dependent, settled, and then his credit card was stolen. A small crisis by most measures, the kind of thing that rattles you for a week and then gets resolved. But for Ray, it was the moment he leaned on his eldest son.
He was someone I lent on because he helped me set up my pension and everything, which you children do. This opened a door for Peter to find an easy way not to go to work and get some money.
That phrase, which your children do, is the whole thing. Ray didn't hand Peter access out of naivety or confusion. He handed it over because that's what parents do, because that's what trust looks like inside a family, and Peter understood exactly how to use it. Exactly when the first diversion happened isn't confirmed in public reporting, but records indicate the scheme ran for approximately 7 years, with Peter redirecting Ray's pension payments directly into his own account. No rage in his voice when he says it, just fact. His son didn't want to earn a living, he wanted a reliable income stream, and his retired father was the most convenient one available. But the pension alone apparently wasn't enough. Peter didn't stop there. He took out loans connected to Ray's finances, ran up tens of thousands in debt, and that debt attached itself to Ray, not Peter. By the time everything unraveled, 2 caveats had been placed on Ray's house. The home Ray had planned to live in for the rest of his life was now legally encumbered because of obligations he never agreed to. Public reporting confirms the loans and the caveats, though records don't show the exact sequence in which each debt was taken on. What is confirmed, by the end, Ray owed close to $80,000 he never borrowed, on top of over $150,000 in redirected pension payments. And to keep all of it hidden, Peter built a paper trail designed to answer any question Ray might ask. He forged emails. He forged letters on government letterhead, including that fake Premier Andrews document. And when Ray needed more reassurance than paper could provide, Peter went further.
Peter diverted his father's pension to his own account, took out loans and racked up tens of thousands in debt, leaving Ray without an income for years. He forged emails and letters to hide his deception, one claiming to be from then Premier Daniel Andrews. Ray says Peter would even call him using a voice-changing app, pretending to be the financial ombudsman.
Let that sit for a moment. A man altered his own voice to call his elderly father and pretend to be a regulator. That is not a panicked cover-up. That is a constructed system of deception, running in parallel to Ray's life, maintained actively, updated as needed. And it worked for years. Meanwhile, Ray had no pension income he could access, no reliable explanation for why, and no way to verify what he was being told.
How were you surviving during that time?
I was walking the streets, salvaging old furniture, taking it home, fixing it up, sell what I could.
A man who spent his career as a cabinet maker, building, crafting, making things of value, reduced to scavenging other people's discarded furniture just to survive. For years. That's not a metaphor. That's what his retirement looked like while his son was spending his pension. The scheme only came apart in 2020, and not because anyone caught Peter defrauding his father.
His scheme was uncovered in 2020 when Peter was jailed for separate deceptions. By then, Ray had lost more than $150,000 of Centrelink benefits, was indebted almost $80,000 in loans, and had 2 caveats placed on his house.
Probably made the big mistake of trusting him.
7 years. If Peter hadn't stumbled elsewhere, public reporting gives no indication anyone would have caught it. By 2020, Ray had lost more than $150,000 in Centrelink benefits, carried nearly $80,000 in debt, and had 2 caveats on his home. Total exposure, over $200,000. And now, Ray and his lawyer went to the institution that should have been his backstop, Centrelink, the government benefits agency that had been paying out his pension for years without once verifying where the money was actually going. They brought evidence. They showed that Peter's bank details had been substituted into Ray's account. They showed 7 years of payments going to the wrong person. They expected accountability.
For Ray, most of his losses could not be recovered. Despite legal efforts, Centrelink refused to refund 7 years of lost pension payments.
Centrelink has said that even though Ray's son's bank details were put into the MyGov account for payment of Ray's pension, Centrelink still doesn't take responsibility for the fact that that money was paid to him.
The agency looked at the evidence, confirmed what happened, and said it wasn't their problem.
We think that Centrelink should have checked that with Ray.
Financial abuse is much more than just simply the impact of the loss of money. It's about the loss of trust in the people.
When the bank details on a pension account are changed, the agency should have contacted the account holder directly to verify it. It didn't. Services Australia has since said it's improving its security. Passkeys, digital IDs, 2-factor authentication, digital coaches for older users. But the basic human step, call the person whose account just changed, still wasn't standard practice. They verified the fraud. They just didn't feel responsible for it. Think about that.
We need to take into account the most vulnerable people in society when we're setting up these accounts to ensure that we protect them from being exploited.
There is a huge amount of shame for the victims of elder abuse, particularly when that is perpetrated by family members.
She notes that national statistics show children are the offenders in 33% of elder abuse cases, and the majority of those are sons. Only 30% of victims ever report seeking help. 30%. 7 in 10 people living through something like what Ray experienced never ask for help. And the shame is exactly why. Because how do you explain to someone that your own child did this? Ray's losses, for the most part, could not be recovered. Legal efforts did not result in full restitution. Centrelink refused to repay the misdirected pension. Julie Dale helped him stabilize, but stabilize is not recover, and the record makes that clear. Peter Baird was jailed for separate deceptions. No evidence found in public reporting that he faced charges specifically for the financial abuse of Ray. Where Peter is now, records don't confirm.
A trust Ray says he'll never get back.
He's ruined my whole life. We'll never have that money again.
Ray isn't bitter about money. He's broken about what it means, that the person who sat with him and helped him plan his retirement was the same person who systematically dismantled it, year by year, phone call by phone call, forged letter by forged letter. And the government he paid into for a lifetime looked at the proof and walked away. He's still living with the caveats, still living with the debt, still living in the house that almost wasn't his anymore. If you or someone you love is over 65 and relies on a family member to manage government accounts or finances, one rule: never let one person be the only set of eyes on that money. Set up a trusted third party. Ask your bank what elder financial abuse protections they offer. And if something feels wrong, even if it's family, especially if it's family, call a financial counselor. The shame isn't yours. It never was.